If you haven't already, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button, and while you're at it, click on that little bell too.
What's up everybody, it's me E-Man from E-Man's Movie Reviews, and today we're going to review Green Book. Alright, let's do a quick intro. Set in the early 1960s, based on a true story, an Italian-American bouncer is hired to drive around a world-class black pianist and provide security as they travel across the country, including the deeply racist South. Enough of that, let's get right into the good.
The good.
Green Book does not waste any time to set up audiences for the racial tensions that are going to be embedded in both the characters and the settings of this film. Despite being a bit obvious, I did like the way Mortensen's character's mentality is initially portrayed with embedded racist views. You'll get the picture fairly quickly in the early kitchen scene that they show. With all that set up, I think it works and ties in nicely with the strongest element of this film, which lies in the development of the relationship between the two main characters. Both Mortensen and Mahershala Ali's characters have their own positive and negative qualities that make their characters unique and compelling. What keeps you interested throughout the movie is just how much both characters learn and grow from one another. I appreciated how they were able to complement one another in very unconventional ways. Despite being a cliche odd couple story, you can't help but to relate to their struggles and triumphs. The dynamic of the relationship is certainly one to be desired, but that's just one reason this movie works. It also helps that Ali and Mortensen have great on-screen chemistry together. They both dive deeply into their characters and make it all very believable. Their banter in the film is certainly entertaining, and you'll definitely get a kick whenever they argue or school one another about certain things. I think the fried chicken scene was probably one of the best scenes in the entire movie. And I've gotta say, one thing that caught me completely off guard with this film was that it is actually pretty funny. I loved how Green Book didn't feel as though it had to go out of its way to be funnier than it needed to be. However, the humor was nicely transitioned into the film and served as, let's just say, like a nice chaser to soften the blow of the racially tense moments in the film. The drama that stems from those racial scenes does get pretty thick and overt. As a matter of fact, as an audience viewer, you can't help but to feel the tension build the closer the main characters get as they travel further down south. That feeling of dread that you most likely will experience, however, is exactly what keeps you engaged, even though you know the characters are about to deal with some real BS. Alright, let's get right into the bad.
The bad.
I suppose my only issue with Green Book is just the fact that it almost seems a little too good to be true. To me, it feels cookie cutter and a little too perfectly gift wrapped at times. I know that this movie is based on a true story, but it also feels as though it's got a little bit too much of that Hollywood spin on it. Now, for instance, there are obviously some pretty racist situations that happen in the movie. That is to be expected with the movie setting being in the early 60s before the civil rights movement. However, there are some moments in the movie that almost feel a little too progressive for that time frame. So when you see certain situations or characters exhibit a 2018 progressive mindset, it makes the rest of the film feel a little too disingenuous. Now let me be clear, that's not to say that everyone in the 60s was just racist and no one could have been progressive. All I'm saying is that what was PC or progressive for the 60s was definitely not what's PC or progressive in 2018. So it's kind of offsetting when you see that 2018 mindset in a 1960s time frame. Anyway, let's get to the reason.
The reason.
Green Book is definitely that feel-good movie of the season. It looks like a reverse Driving Miss Daisy while having a similar vibe to that of The Help or even Hidden Figures. Given the Hollywood spin that I mentioned earlier, this movie won't make people feel uncomfortable with the racism that it portrays. It's really actually pretty safe in that regard because it kind of displays it in a fantasy and ideal relationship we all should strive for. It reminds us all that if we took a little bit of time to actually get to know people who are different than us, rather than just assuming what we think we know about them, then maybe we can make this world a truly better place, one relationship at a time. So when it comes to the rating of Green Book, I've got to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Green Book just so happened to earn some Oscar nominations for Best Movie, Best Actor, or Best Supporting Actor for that matter. It's overall a really good movie, and I definitely would recommend for you all to go out and check it out. So are you interested in seeing Green Book? If and when you do go see it, please be sure to come back to this video and let me know what you thought about it, because I'd like to hear your thoughts on the film. Anyway, that's all the time I have for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I always appreciate you guys doing that. If you got some time, please check out some of my other videos. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I got more reviews and videos to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you guys later.